Umbrella's ready. Hello, Scarlett.
Hello, Dor.
So we're here in Bratislava, believe it or not, in Slovakia.
Believe it or not, kinda.
And Scarlett, I want to hear a little bit about what you're doing today with food and how do you see food when you're, because I know that you're working a lot with retreats and with all these projects and you're making food for them. And the first question is about like, what is alive with you when you're cooking? What is it for you that you care about when you're making food for people?
So what I care about the most is the quality I put into the food, not only the ingredients, but also my quality, to how I step into the kitchen and what I put, what kind of energy I put into the food while cooking. So it's not only the food which nourishes your physical body, but also your food which gets to nurture you on the different aspects of your being. So I'm really trying to be there, like present the moment I cook. Also the way I put together what kind of food am I going to cook. And do you want me to?
Yeah, keep going. I'm interested. Like when you're saying like I'm being present, what is it not? Like I wonder what was your experience also with ways that people make food in these places that didn't work for you?
So the more you get into the food topic, the more you realize how much it affects you. And as I said, not only your physical well-being, but also on the different aspects. And for example, if you go into a restaurant where you have a chef who is like, who hates his job, who is pissed with everything, who is in a mental state of like, oh my God, why am I here? Oh my God, let it be over. Then like the way he cooks is just literally like, you know, work, and like that's the energy it puts into the food. And then you go there and you order and you unconsciously eat his mess or his shit, what he put into the food himself unconsciously.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started realizing it and I started realizing how I feel after I go out and eat somewhere, I started to realize more and more that how important it is, that how I myself feel as a chef when I'm in a kitchen, and when I'm especially on a retreat or a gathering where, you know, where usually people come with the purpose of,
Mm-hmm.
of I don't know, retreat or to transform something or to make things a bit differently.
Mm-hmm. And you did something like this with time, and you didn't speak about it. When, in my experience, that when I go into a kitchen in modern culture, even sometimes in retreats and places like this, it's a lot of rush. Like there's a big thing with like rushing. And when I spend time with you, you keep talking to me about slowing down, doing it. So what is it that for you? Because I know that there is something special here with like time and making things slower. What is that about?
Exactly. It's all about that. I'm not saying every day, or like I'm not saying everyone, but I'm saying that a lot of people, like the majority of society, is built on making things faster so you can do even more, and like the more you do, the better you are and the bigger your worth is. And in that rush you kind of lose yourself in it, because then your purpose becomes to work more, to earn more money, to have more materialistic things, and always more and more and faster. And then if you start realizing that, okay, I'm doing all of this, but like where am I? Where is my being in this whole rush? Then you are not even aware where are you in it. So when you start slowing down and you really start becoming present with every action of yours, with every word of yours, with every gesture of yours. And it's not about walking slow. It's about living slow, you know. Once I started this fragments on social media of like catching moments of slow life, like people, two old couples sitting on a beach reading newspapers. And it's just like, you know, slow life, when your purpose is not to get to the goal, to get to the destination, but to savor the process itself, the getting there itself. So it's not only the way you eat or the way you walk, it's literally everything. Like the way you wake up, the way you brush your teeth, the way you make yourself a cup of tea. And this slowness you can like apply at every part of your life. And then yes, of course, the slower you get, your capacity of doing more shortens. But with that, you will do less, but you're going to do it with more quality. You're going to be there 100% present. So in my point of view, the slower you live, the longer you live. Because if you do things fast, then it's like, you know, you wake up, a job, an interview, lunch, and laundry, and pick up the kid, and it's night. Day is over.
Yeah.
And you are like, oh my God. And the next, you are already planning the next day. Okay, so tomorrow, to-do list. Oh my God, so long, so long. And then, bam, next night, another day gone. But when you just stop and you are like, all right, I'm gonna go and get a coffee and like sit down and get a coffee. Nothing to do. I'm just gonna be there and drink that cup of coffee. What really helped me in the switch was we are not human doings. We are human beings. And of course, we all need to do some things, but that's not the purpose of our being. We are here to experience life, and the more present you are, the deeper you can get the experience of it.
Thank you. Yeah, this vehicle is now passing. Of course, there's always the last man standing. I'm gonna noise cancel this guy. So I'm gonna activate the noise canceling capabilities of this mic so we can hear you. I'm gonna do it also in mine. So we can keep speaking. I wonder if it's gonna be there's a basically like a tractor passing by cleaning the street exactly when we're having this interview. And yeah, thank you for sharing about this. It's like, I must say that on a personal level, it's one of the things that is like, for me, it's like a life journey to learn to slow down and, like you said, be more present, not to see how much I can achieve today. And it really, what you're saying, it really happens to me. This is why I love hearing this from you, and I wanted to bring this into the interview, that I'm trying to accomplish so much, try to put so many things into place, and the day just flies, and then it ends up like, you also gave me this feedback about like, which really touched me. That's, I think, the first thing that you told me that was like really hit me, that like when I don't take enough time to integrate all these activities, because you know in Connect we're doing so many projects, so many quests, so many trainings, I don't take enough time to slow down and integrate that, then I'm just jumping into the next thing, but it doesn't improve. And when I'm just slowing down and take the time to integrate, the next thing that I'm going to do is going to be much more powerful, because I actually took the time to integrate that.
Exactly. There is a Hungarian saying, which if I translate, it says that the cleanliness, or like the organization, is the soul of everything. Meaning that if you do a work, a transformational or a deeper work, and then you finish and you immediately jump onto the next one, and the next one. And then there is not the integration part of like what it brought to you, and you know, to stop and to reflect on how you felt in the process, what feedbacks you got. And if you do this integration part, then you can organize yourself, your doing and your projects in a way that with the next one you improve and you get to bring a different quality to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more you reflect, the more you will kind of organize yourself also and your experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then the less mess create. And if you create less mess, it means there is more space for improvement.
Aho. I'm all about creating less mess. As someone that creates a lot of messes, I want to cancel again the noise thing.
Like, just a funny thing, that now you said cancel the noise, and like there was a thought in me going back to slow life, that the slower you start living, the less noisier it gets. And when you don't have that noise, you can actually hear yourself. And then the slower you get, you will kind of detach from all the mess and all the loud and all the chaos around you. And you can hear your own chaos and your own mess and your own noises. And that's where you can like actually grab something and see like, okay, so that's the place where there is the work I need to do. Because if you get so caught up in the doings and in the places and in the people, then you can really detach from what's going on inside. And then once you get back to it and you start realizing, and then you start cleaning up the mess which you have there, and to figure out the noises and the voices in you, then you can show up in life and in your outer reality also from a completely different way.
Yeah, I love that you connected the noise to it, because you also said that to me before, and for me it comes together. Like the part of me that creating messes, you know, my irresponsible part, it likes to move fast, so I don't get to feel, or that I don't get to integrate. And it likes to create a lot of noise, because when there's noise, there's not this moment of like, what's happening? What is the noise that I have inside? What do I feel? What emotions are there? I just make noise, you know? And connecting this to the festival that we've just been, I feel like in festivals right now, I think making a lot of noise, it's part of it. Like specifically that festival had like 6 or 7 points of music.
Constant music.
Of constant music, you just create a lot of noise. Like when you just walk, you hear noise from 3 different, like, not to mention there's like this high-tech music or whatever, this dark orc music that they started to play in Psytrance music. It becomes like, it almost becomes like mastering noise and making noise as music, presenting noise as music. It's like organized noise. But also receiving this from 3-4 different places. Prevents you from being with yourself. And I noticed now I've been to 6-7 festivals. When they turn off the music in a festival, you can feel what you said so much. Suddenly there's quietness, you hear the birds. Suddenly you can be with yourself for a moment and not just outside all the time.
Yeah, but the thing about festivals is that usually when they turn off the music, that's the part when you go to sleep, you know, because, so there's, again, you go into a place where there are constantly things happening to you, always new impulses, people, information. And like, I don't know if it's 6 days of festival or 10 days, but during those 10 days you literally get no chance to integrate. And then you go home from the festival usually sick physically because your body just cannot hold it together. You go home hyper exhausted, energetically drained, and like you go home with the bigger mess than you left. But like that's festivals, you know.
And that's healing festivals, like even. Like, I mean, healing festivals are a bit better than site festival, but.
Well, like everyone has their preferences. My perspective on that is a bit different. Like if your goal is to heal, then you do not really go for a festival, but you go and sit with your own demons or own shadows, and you go and talk to them. You don't go and talk to other people about them.
This is, by the way, what I admire about you, and I know I'm going to say it on online basically here, and which I hope it's going to be okay. But it's like I never seen a person that actually during a festival actually takes so much time for themselves and be like, no, I'm going to go to sleep early. Or no, I'm gonna take this time to just go and integrate and like really I saw you being this guardian of your space, of your body, of your taking care of yourself. And like this is for me really amazing, something to learn from, like how much you can be a guardian of what you need. If you need time to integrate, if you need process, if you need this, like
it's a process to get there. Because when we are used to so much noise and so many informations, then we lose our ability to listen to what
I'm with you, yes.
What our body is saying and stuff. So then it takes you time to go back to a point where you're like, wait, but like I have this feeling in me. What is it trying to say? What is it trying to show me? It's trying to, I'm getting a bit like anxious. Maybe am I tired? Or like, what is it really trying to, what kind of information it has for me? What should I do with it? So it is a process to get there, to actually listen to the inner voices and not the external.
Okay, and I have a little dangerous question for you.
Love those.
In these interviews, I always ask a dangerous question. So, well, you're saying all of this and listening to your feelings and all of this, and you know, there you are. You're a very beautiful woman, very appreciated by your beauty in society, and how it is for you to still go to these places of connecting to yourself, to your feeling, respecting your bodies. Because my story about it is that you had all the encouragement from modern culture to not go there and to just go and be successful, whatever, in modern culture, you know, with your beauty, with your looks, whatever. And yeah, how it is for you to find that place. Was it easy? Was it not?
You mean the journey to go back to myself and to listen to that? I mean, any transformational work you do is never easy. It's always painful, and it's always a road through, you know, the mud and all the thorns, and you go and bleed, and you know. So it was of course hard. It was hard to first realize that I'm not going, or like the regular way of living is not really calling me, or like somewhere I felt that it cannot be the only way how we live this life. And then when you start going kind of against what everyone else is living, you constantly face, you know, that like, you shouldn't do it like this, you not know why. And then also as a person who is hypersensitive, who can really feel things, and who is really sensitive to every kind of impulse, it's even, I wouldn't want to say more difficult, but it is. Because, like, you know, the energies you just cannot hide from, you know. There is maybe a feeling rising, and to that you maybe say that, okay, no, but if there is the energy, you cannot really block it out.
Mm-hmm.
It just goes in. So it was a long journey, and like, I feel that a lot of people I met who started this journey started with yoga, and that's also
me too. Yeah,
it's very interesting, very interesting. A lot of people I met, that's what they say, that they started with yoga, and that was the same with me. I started with yoga, and then it just gets you, you know, pulls you or brings you into a place where, you know, yoga is about paying attention to your breath, the connection between the breath and the movements. Noise cancelling.
Keep going, yeah.
Don't you think we're getting a bit wet here?
We do. We need to stop soon.
Or the rain will stop soon.
I mean, I just enjoy a bit of rain, but...
All right. So what I was saying that, what was I saying?
You're saying about yoga that a lot of people, like, they get introduced to
Yes.
transformational work with yoga.
Yes.
What do you think it's about?
I think it's about...
Because you were talking, I think, about how you started, and
Yeah.
you started with yoga.
I think yoga is... So when you live this, I don't know, I don't want to call it normal life or regular life, but when you are still a bit aware and you lose your sense of your body and the connection, yoga is this process which brings your attention back to the connection of body, mind, and spirit. That maybe the way you start is only physical, but then the deeper you go into it, you start also seeing the consequences and the changes on the mind and on the spiritual levels.
Yeah. Yeah, what I found, and I'm going to give it another shot because, you know, a true yogi can never give up.
You know, it's unpractical woman. And we can just...
Exactly. And that yoga is this kind of practice that helps you to connect to your physical body, then the energetic body, then it affects the mental body, but it's kind of skipped the emotional body. And this is, as someone that practiced that for like 7 years,
I can just hold it.
Yeah. As someone that practiced this for so long, I was missing that part, the emotional, the feeling part of yoga. In yoga, it's a lot about devotion. And when you're, and I know I might get some responses about that. It's not like black and white, by the way. But a lot of times when you're, like the devotion part of yoga, when you're devoted to a guru or something, then it really works if you're in an ashram. Like it really works if you're going on that path of yoga. But if you're just like practicing asanas and stuff, and you're in the West and you're trying to do something about modern culture, about next culture, and you're in the West, you kind of need to know more about the feeling and the emotional body than just looking at feelings as devotion to something or just surrender or something like that. So when I discovered the emotional and feeling work, that what we do in Connect also, and the workshop that I give now in the last 6 years, it's really helped me to navigate life in modern culture and in next culture and in all these festivals and all these places.
Do you want to like distinguish the 5 layers of the body?
Yeah, there's physical body, there's the intellectual body, which is thinking and thoughts, everything that's going on in the intellectual body, which is a lot about survival. But in modern culture, because we're not allowed to think, by all these institutions like the church and kings and queens and governments and all these things, we're not really allowed to think. Then when we were, suddenly the church let go a bit and we could allow to think, then the intellectual body became really big. And suddenly everything is intellectual. Like if there's no intellectual explanation to this, we cannot even process that. And so and our intellectual center is really big. So when we're doing feeling work, we need to really reteach people how to go to their center. And then there's the energetic body, which is kind of like here. It's around you and is in charge of timing. Like when you dance, for example, you use your energetic body to sense the space, to sense rhythm. It's a lot about time and space. And then there's the emotional body, which we usually discover last. But then there's also the fifth body, which is the archetypal body, which is a lot about your calling in the world. It's like, what am I here for to do in the world? So that's the fifth body, and it only becomes aligned when you align the first four bodies. When they're in alignment, you start to hear the music of your archetypal body.
And what would you say that, like, if you say aligning those four bodies, what would you recommend, or what worked for you to do so, to align them?
So that's the funny, we're talking about yoga. The yoga helped me to kind of align my energetic body a lot, and also physical body, like it helps. But then if you have like a healthy lifestyle with your physical body, it's pretty much balanced, and then intellectually, you're not too hooked by all this intellectual stuff. You're not too hooked about philosophy and theories and religions and all that intellectual mumbo jumbo.
I'm gonna stop you there. Like, these things have their own quality. Like all the philosophies, all the religions, they are all great. The thing.
Can you put the umbrella more in the middle? Yes, keep going.
I'm sorry, but like, I have to hold it, because otherwise it closes.
Let me hold it for a little bit and you talk. Yeah.
So that all of these religions and stuff can teach you a lot. The challenge with them is that a lot of people go, and if they start reading about it or start learning about it, they get, as you say, hooked by it. They get blinded by it, and they just follow blindly whoever the leader of that religion or philosophy is. And as you always say, they give their center to them.
Yep.
So what I learned on my journey was to like just stay open, to read as more as you can about all the religions, all the philosophies, all what's on earth, and then take or feel or tune in what really resonates with you. And like not to follow one specific thing, because that I think never really worked. And if you again look from a completely different perspective, then you will realize how all of these religions are actually like all the one. It's just like, I don't know, Christianity has God, then they have Allah, and all of these are just like one, this one consciousness, but we have different cultures, so they made them different, which is a bit sad, because then like this gives a reason for people to go into war and to fight for their own religion. But if you just stop and then you realize that it's all just one, and you like the reason for your wars is like zero, because actually there is only just this one, then you can see that how much unnecessary trouble is going on. So I don't want to judge and like say no, don't read. Like, read the more you can, the better it is, but just do not fall into any of them blindly, but make kind of your own religion, your own philosophy of life.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that distinctions, and this is really what it means to not get. It's gonna go. this is what it means to not get hooked, to really, like you're saying, to keep your eyes open for possibilities and not to feel like you're narrowed just by one possibility. That's a sign when you're hooked. So, so thank you for bringing the distinction. And the intellectual body is not bad. Like sometimes in Buddhism and Zen, they treat the intellectual body like it's bad, but it's just because it takes too much space in people's experience of life. And so connecting to the physical body by diet and looking at what your food, and connecting to your energetic body by slowing down, connecting to your emotional body by feeling more, then the intellectual body is not bad. You can actually use it, is amazing. Like it's a whole dimension. I'm very much into using all the 5 bodies. And I think, yeah, a lot of this, what I call the archetypal body, is sometimes mentioned in these old scriptures, in the old traditions, in all the old traditions. They kind of hinting at us that like there is something beyond. There's something beyond intellectual. There's something beyond all these bodies, and it's about the journey that you came here for in the world to do. And this is when you start to connect to your archetypal body, and you start getting all these forces that are beyond explanation in your team. So I think this is a lot about what these old stories are trying to tell us. And when you align the 4 bodies, the 5th one comes into life, and it really becomes like music. All the synchronicity happens. It's pretty amazing. So thank you for watching. We're gonna get out of the rain.
We are like completely soaked, or at least my house.
And the trees speaking. Thank you, trees, for being here, also and holding space. Any last words, Scarlett?
Any last word? Go and be in nature. Spend some time in nature, in silence, and talk to trees. Not talk, be them, be there, and they will talk to you.
Yeah.
And that's amazing.
Cool. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for being on your journey. And if you have anything to write down, you can ask us, or you can find us more about where to find us more and to work with us and all of that down below. And
comment below.
Have a beautiful day. See you soon.
And a beautiful journey.
Ciao.
And also a painful journey.
Have a painful journey.
Peace out. Ah!